Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. You know, I wasn't going to do a video tonight. I was like, it's late. In 2 more days, I gotta get my wisdom tooth extracted. I'm kind of stressed out. I'm tired. But then I came across this video. And you guys already know, when I come across crazy stuff, I have to share it with you because who else? So I came across this video on X. I was scrolling and libs of TikTok posted this video of someone who I'm going to call Mrs. Urkel. And if you know, you know. And Mrs. Urkel had a word, particularly for white people. So if you're white, I want you to listen closely because this message is just for you. We're gonna watch the video together. I got it queued up. And we're gonna analyze and talk about it because that's what we do on this channel. So without further ado, Urkel, take it away. All right, here we go.
If there's one thing that I wish white people understood, it is this.
What's that?
Your whiteness is the heaviest thing about you. It is so heavy that it outweighs any and all other marginalizing identities.
Wow.
Now, this is not to say that other identities aren't heavy. This is not to say that other identities aren't hard to carry. But it is to say that your whiteness in a white supremacist society like the United States is the key to care, empathy, dignity, support, justice, and freedom that people of color with the exact same marginalizing identities as you cannot access because they are people of color.
Really?
Your white is heavier than your woman. Your white is heavier than your trans. Your white is heavier than your disabled. Your white is heavier than your poverty. Your whiteness is the heaviest thing about you. Think on that.
Well, Urkel said what Urkel said. So the reason why I wanted to comment on Urkel's stance is because it's very clear that they're trying to state that being white is a privilege, right? This is their thing. This is their go-to. Every year we hear this. Every week we hear this. It's always the go-to. If you are white, you are privileged, and shame on you for existing. That's pretty much what Urkel's trying to say in a nutshell. And I just, you know, every time I think I've scrolled past the crazy, they always come back up. And they say, hi, how are you? And, I guess we gotta talk about it. So, do I think that there is any validity to what this person is stating? In a nutshell, no. And here's why. So according to this person, being white is the end all be all. It trumps everything else. So if you are struggling in your life, if you have a disease, if you lost your job, if you lost a child, if you are on welfare, if you're about to lose your home, if you have no car, if you are pretty much at the end of your rope, if you are pretty much a country music song and you're white, it doesn't matter because you're white. Apparently to this person, a dirt poor white person is better off than Denzel Washington because Denzel is black. I mean, that is the ideology of this individual. And I can't help but push back at the ridiculousness of their statement. Now, Urkel isn't just talking about black people. Urkel said specifically people of color. So that would constitute anybody who is not white, which includes me. Which means I can speak on this topic because you are invoking my name as a person of color, which by the way, I hate that term, but for the sake of this video, we're gonna use the term person of color. So as a person of color, they are stating that I don't know what true freedom is. I've never received empathy. I have no benefits. I don't know what joy is in life. I've not been given opportunities. I'll never be truly happy. I'm pretty much at the bottom of the barrel. Okay, here's the food chain and Chuck is down here, just scrapping for crumbs, according to Urkel. And the reason why videos like this get on my last nerves is because the audacity. The audacity of a person to sit here in their little privileged apartment, probably goes to a university, making a ton of money, telling people how down in the dumps they are if they are not white. You know what I hear when I hear rants like this? What I hear is, I want an excuse. My life hasn't gone the way that I want it to go. I'm upset and I need a scapegoat. I need someone to hate. I need a struggle. I need something to put on my picket sign. Because we all know that they love to picket something and they love to protest something and they love to boycott something. It's what they do. And so I'm sure that this person wouldn't be able to admit that they have privileges as an American because if they admit that, they have nothing. Which leads me to my next point. So according to this person, if you are a person of color, and that, again, is anyone who isn't white, and you come to this country or you live in this country, you are going to struggle. Your life is going to be 10 times harder than that of a white person. You will always struggle. You will always have adversities. You will never have enough. You will always be at the bottom of the barrel. You will always be fighting for crumbs, and you will never be as good enough as the white man. Now, here's the problem and the major flaw with that argument. And I've said this before in other videos. I'm going to say it again on this video. If America was such a cesspool of racism and no opportunities for anybody who isn't white, and it is the seventh layer of hell, then tell me why people of color are always trying to flock to this country, whether it be South Asians, East Asians, West Asians, West Africans, East Africans, North Africans, South Africans, people all over South America, Central America. These aren't white people. These are people of color. And yet they are doing everything that they can to come to this country for what? For opportunities. So you're telling me that this country that is so systemically racist and hates people of color and only uplifts white people and only white people have opportunities, that country that she also lives in, by the way, and benefits from, hates us. Hates all of us, unless you're white. No opportunities, unless you're white. So tell me then, why is it that when, let's say, Nigerians, who are West Africans, when they come to this country, statistically, they have a higher percentage of becoming doctors and engineers? In fact, most Nigerians who immigrated from Nigeria to America actually, on average, make more money a year than most white Americans, the people at the top of the food chain. How is that possible? Last I checked, Nigerians were people of color, black. Yet, they are extremely successful when they come to America. So tell me, Urkel, if America hates black people, and America hates people of color, and America only uplifts white people, then how is it possible that people of color like Nigerians or South Asians, also known as Indians, why is it that they on average are the doctors, the engineers, the people making the big bucks, the ones living in the private homes, in the gated communities? Those people, how were they able to beat the system over and over and over again? How? See, if your ideology was correct, then any person of color coming to this country is going to run back to their home country because they're going to realize, oh my God, America hates me. Oh my God, America won't let me succeed. Oh my God, America is so racist. Oh my God, I can't breathe in this country. I need to go back to my homogenous country where everyone looks like me, right? I mean, if I was a Nigerian person, why would I want to come to America? Why would I want to come to a country that only uplifts white people? Why not stay in my country where the government looks like me and my neighbors look like me? Wouldn't it be more safer? Wouldn't it have more opportunities? What's going on? I actually had somebody comment and try to argue with me about this point, stating, and I'm going to paraphrase here, but they said, oh, well, you can't compare Nigerians to African Americans or people born in this country because those of us born in this country and our ancestors dealt with a different experience. So therefore, that experience is going to affect our experience as Americans versus a Nigerian or an immigrant. Now, here's the problem with that statement or that opinion, right? If there was systemic racism, then that means any person of color, whether they were born in this country or in Nigeria or some other country, would still deal with the same issues because at the end of the day, their skin is still melanated. I mean, that is what systemic means. It is in the system. So no matter who you are or where you come from, if you are not white, you are going to have a tough time. But like I just stated, that is not the case for people who are coming from other countries. They succeed. So the real issue is the culture. That's the problem. It's not my ancestors or the system. It's how you are being raised. It's how you're being taught. It's the mindset that your family and your community is giving you and telling you that as a black person, that as a Latino, that as an Asian, you're going to struggle. You won't be enough. Where does that mentality come from? Is it coming from your white neighbors or is it coming from your own home? I'm just asking. Because if you look at people from Nigeria who are extremely successful, the main difference is their mentality. See, when they come to this country, they're not playing around. They're coming for an education. They're coming for opportunity. They're coming for success. And they will not leave until they gain that success. See, their mentality will not allow them to be defeated because they have decided in their minds, in their hearts, and in their souls that nothing is going to stop them from the American dream. And again, if America was so systemically racist and hated black and brown people, the American dream would only be available and obtainable to white people. But that is not the case. Now, yes, there are more successful white people in this country because there are more white people in this country. That's majority. So majority is always going to be represented in every spectrum of society in this country. It doesn't mean that there aren't successful black people, brown people, Asian people, etc. It just means that there are more white people. Okay, but why is that stopping you? Why, Urkel? Why is it stopping you? And why are you teaching the next generation to hate themselves. The difference is a victimhood mentality versus a non-victimhood mentality. That is the difference, folks. And that's what people don't want to hear. People get upset with me. They get mad at me. They scream at me all over TikTok and X and Instagram and call me a traitor and call me a racist and other stupid names because they don't like the truth. It makes them upset because what I'm saying is there is no excuse. Stop making excuses for yourself. Stop it. Get over it. Move on. Move forward. You want to be successful? Be successful. Believe it, and it will happen. If you grow up in a society that tells you that no matter what you do, you won't be enough, guess what? You're going to live out that prophecy. You're going to live it out because it's all you hear around you. Americans are the most privileged people. Left, right, center, I don't care who you are. If you were born in this country like I was, we are very privileged and we have opportunities everywhere. We don't have excuses. We really don't. I don't care if you grew up in the hood. I did. I got out. My family got out. You know why? We worked hard. We moved up on the tax bracket through hard work. It works. We didn't sit and sulk and blame our white neighbors. We just didn't. That wasn't a thing. But sadly, for many, many Americans, especially those on the left, this is a thing. You go through life believing, as Urkel states, that no matter what you do, you won't be enough. What I would challenge people to do is talk to an immigrant. Talk to a person who came from nothing, who understands what true struggle looks like, what true corruption looks like, what having nothing looks like, and then ask them how they were able to be successful in this country. I guarantee you the last thing on their mind is going to be the color of their skin. Not even a factor. You know why? Because they understand what it's like to live in a country where there's no opportunity. They understand what it's like to live in a country where you literally have to skip meals. Otherwise, people starve in your home. They know what it's like to actually struggle and not know if tomorrow is going to come. And that's why when they come to this country, the last thing on their mind is to complain, to moan, to create made up issues and problems in their heads. I guarantee you so many immigrants probably look at Americans, especially those on the left, like they're crazy. There's a reason why many people who come from communistic countries and countries where there are very little opportunities, there's a reason why those people, when they come to America, they tend to lean more right. And they want nothing to do with the left because they know what that mentality is like. Because they see the opportunities in America, and all you hear from the left is how bad America is, how horrible America is, we're the worst country in the world. And they're sitting here thinking, do you know where I came from? Like, do you get it? Do you understand what I had to do to come to this country? And all you're doing is bitching and moaning from your house or from your university. I mean, talk about out of touch. Look, I'm gonna just say this. If you believe that this country is systemically racist, then you are going to see racism everywhere you go. In the grocery store, at the bank, even in your home, because it's everywhere in your mind. And yes, you have the power to stop. You have the power to not let those roadblocks that you created in your mind stagnate you in your life. You have the power. What's really scary too is the mentality that we heard from that woman is what's being filtered in elementary schools and junior high and high school and of course college. Now they won't call it critical race theory, even though that is exactly what it is. They won't call it that, but that's what they will preach. That's what they say to your kids. They want white kids to feel guilty and they want black and brown kids to feel oppressed. That's the goal. They want diversity and they want inclusion. And what we have to do as the adults is say, hell no, not on my watch. How you raise your children is so important. It is so important. And if you are training your child up to see racism everywhere, you are setting your child up to be a victim for the rest of his or her life. You can either be victorious or you can be a victim. It's your choice. I don't know why anybody would choose victimhood. But then again, if you didn't have victimhood, you would have nothing to complain about. And then what would these leftists do? What would they do? They would have to admit that America is a pretty bang-ass country. They would have to admit that they're spoiled brats. But it's much easier to be victims, and it's much easier to memorialize people like Bin Laden. That's the left. Anyway, guys, let me know in the comments down below what you think of this topic. Do you think Urkel had a point, or do you think Urkel is crazy? I vote crazy. If you enjoy my content, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you know when I post a brand new video. You can also follow me on TikTok and on Instagram and on X under CurlyBoyChuck, where I'm continuously being canceled just for you. Until next time, peace.